didn't make the date for the meeting. But when I get one, I can take a picture of it for you guys and kind of hold it up.
As a percentage, NG, NJ.
I would say more NJs. I don't know about a percentage, Dave. I'd be lying. But I know that a Dopphoff tube is generally used in ICU. It's done at the bedside, oftentimes by the dietitian. Okay, dietitians can be cleared to place these tubes. And I know that they're just trying to reduce the risk of aspiration, so they're pushing it further down. So you imagine how long that tube has to be in order to do that.
So a Dopphoff tube is an NG tube, or an NJ
Yes.
tube?
A Dopphoff tube is,
Honestly, I've never heard NJ, but I've heard Dopphoff.
well, you should
It's like
say,
the opposite.
NJ tube.
Dopphoff is a specific type of a nasogastric tube. If you think about gastric, you usually mean the stomach, but really it's a nasoenteral tube, meaning it goes somewhere inside, okay, inside the GI tract. And dietitians, generally when they say Dopphoff, they really are more than likely into the jejunum, okay? The Dopphoff tube is different than an NG tube in one sense. And it's really not that you need to know, but I think it's a nice thing to know. So this here, and I can only get 8 French tubes, which is really annoying. But this, if it goes down an 8 French, we know we're going down to 10. So this would be an NG tube. And how you know that it's not a Dopphoff is because it doesn't have a stylet. A Dopphoff has a wire inside the tube that it helps it go down, okay? And they get it into the stomach, and it has a little end that's weighted, okay? And that little end gets weighted, and it's also radio yeah, it can be picked up on X-ray, so that they know where that tube is. Because once you place the tube, you have to check placement by X-ray, okay? So you put the tube in, literally at the bedside you're doing this. Some wacko dietitian that just, you're the first patient, just frightening. But anyway, so you get this lovely thing that hangs out of your nose, okay, and then it gets taped to your face. Good opportunity for skin breakdown, where the tape is, where the tube goes up through your nose. So they try to use the smallest tube possible, but with the largest interior borehole, okay? So in placing the Dopphoff tube, you can see where if I had a wire inside of here, it'd be a hell of a lot easier to get this tube down. I don't need someone who can swallow, you know, and help you move it. And then because it's weighted, it gets picked up by peristalsis, and it helps to move itself down. Okay, that weighted in.
People can still talk with this in.
Oh yeah, you can eat from the top. So you could have a Dopphoff tube. You could be eating gelatin 20. You can have a Dopphoff tube, or you could be getting ProSource TF through the tube. Okay.
Not true with an NG tube.
An NG tube, yes.
You can eat as well.
You can eat as well.
You
Okay.
can eat all the tubes.
All the tubes. It's just that the Dopphoff tube is a smaller tube. They use it because it's ease of placement and say something that's not alert and able to help you. And it typically goes into the jejunum. So it becomes an NG tube that's actually in the jejunum.
Okay, so dumb question probably, but if they're able to eat, why would you eat the tube?
It's eating enough. It's what if you're on pureed honey liquids? You're allowed to eat, but you're looking at that, you've got
So
mints.
they're just not eating.
They're just not eating. So they may have the tube as supplemental, maybe PO for pleasure only, all right? Pleasure only. Eating for pleasure only. Because that's a phrase that dietitians use for somebody that would like to eat but just can't. You know, in America, we all think, oh boy, if there's 2 burgers, I get to eat 2. If there's 1, well, I guess I'll just eat 1. In the hospital, when you really don't you go, oh my God, a burger, what the hell am I gonna do with that? You know, it's, just think about yourself being sedated, a little nauseous, and you're just there, you're miserable. Really? What are you gonna eat? You're not eating steak, and your stomach is like, ooh, don't you put steak down there. It's hard to digest a lot of food. So, I would say though, more often than not in the ICU though, people really aren't eating if they have an NG tube or a dial